Mardani was in my bucket list of must-watch movie, honorable mention at least. And how did it fare? Let's take a deep dive in it. Mardani is the direct sequel of the movie Mardani 2 or Mardani franchise, carried by Rani Mukerji at this point. And I'm emphasizing on the word carried because in this movie as well, she is carrying the whole weight of the movie. Basically, in Mardani 1, we saw the emergence of Tahiraj Wasim, a menacing villain, a very cunning villain as well. Because by that point, we were used to seeing villain who were bad for the sake of being bad. They were inherently negative. But in the Tahiraj Wasim, whose character was much different from that what we were used to. He is bad, but for him, he is a good guy. He is a guy who is surviving in amidst all these predators, and he is surviving in his own way. So that was the psychology of the first villain of Mardani, played by Tahiraj Wasim. In the second movie, that took a little turn. The villain from being a cunning man turned into a psychopath, a proper psychopath who lacked any kind of empathy. Vishal Jetwa played the psychopath role such menacingly that he became etched in our memory. Coming into Mardani 3, that story has turned into a hyperfixation of both of these characters. We have both a mastermind, a cunning mastermind, and a sociopath at the same time. A mastermind who is two steps ahead of Rani Mukerji and at the same time is planning a very high-end scheme. Now, does this plot point come as a surprise to us? Honestly, no. Every plot twist in this movie is very predictable. Every shocking moment, every surprise you can predict from 1,000 miles ahead. And that is not a good point for a thriller movie like this, where you have to guess on who is the culprit. Most of the time we know who is the culprit, but there is a surprise elevator. There is a twist that is supposed to take us by surprise. But truth be told, upon seeing him or her for the first time, we almost predict what is to be expected from this character. The plus point of this movie is though it doesn't take time at all to get on with the main storyline. It doesn't take break from that main storyline. It doesn't divert much. Rani Mukherjee's personal life is very, very less focused in this movie. It just comes for a brief moment and then goes away. Jitu Sen Gupta is really wasted in this movie. It just comes as a brief breaking period to show the low phase of Rani Mukerji, but again she jumps off from it just like nothing happened. Janki Bodiwala's character is honestly a really waste of talent in this movie. Most of the period of time she is only observant. She's like a bypasser who just observes everything, and her character comes into play by the climax of the movie. But honestly, the twist of her character as well was very much predictable, and we pretty much knew what the actual reason of her twist might be. The main villain of this movie, played by Amma, is menacing by the looks, is menacing by her performance, but whatever she does compared to Rani Mukherjee fails miserably. She is physically less dominating than her. Her first confrontation with Rani Mukherjee physically also shows how much less prowess she has compared to her. She is not the mastermind either. So her whole premise falls very much short compared to Rani Mukherjee. Then coming to the actual mastermind who is hiding behind the curtains, her or his whole backstory is not fully flourished or fully exposed either. Neither does the part that is exposed makes any sense. It gives any clarity on why he or she is like that, why he or she has become like that, or what is driving them to become like the way they are. The whole movie is actually very surface level. We have a very strong premise of a certain age or group of girls being missing and the whole racket being systematically connected to the higher level, and that higher level being Amma. How is she operating all of this? How did she all of a sudden become so much powerful that she is feared all over the place, not only in her location but all white India as well? Why is this certain age of girls are targeted, and what are the big evil reason behind it? All of these questions are answered very late in the movie, and they are answered in a very surface level way. We don't connect with the stakes by the end of the movie. The stakes were attempted to be high, but it doesn't feel like it. And although the case in Rani Mukherjee's hand is very severe, but the effect of which is not very much shown on her. For example, the first case that Rani Mukherjee is handed over is the case of an abduction of a girl who is around 8 to 9 years old. Along her, another girl of the same age of the servant of that family is captured as well. So her first task was to find out who this girl was and how was she captured, and eventually find her. The summary of the whole process was she failed to save that kid. That is a very destructive blow to anyone's career and anyone's whole profession, anyone's mindset as well. And we are shown that for only a brief period of time. But eventually she moves on from that situation very easily. So the stakes are there, but they are not felt genuinely at all. This movie is actually so hyper focused on its main premise that all the other emotional stakes take a secondary place, and that's what hampers it the most. Coming to the action part, It is quite visible that Rani Mukerji is not doing all the action sequences herself. There is a duplicate who is being utilized, and the difference is quite evident. The duplicate's movement are much more agile, much more broad, much more flexible. On the contrary, when you see Rani Mukerji do any action sequences, she is more stable. She is doing more strength-heavy choreography. Her strength is more focused than her agility and her flexibility. But at the end of the day, Rani Mukerji did a very commendable job in terms of her actions, in terms of her screen presence, in terms of showing her authority. Rani Mukerji killed it again as Mardani. But the whole USP of Mardani franchisee, the villain, was very, very weak. Eventually, Mardani franchisee was known for its out-of-the-box villains and delivering a social message as well while solving the case. But in this scenario, the whole antagonist and the whole social messaging as well fall flat. So that was my point of view about the movie Mardani 3. It had its strong point. It is a tightly knit movie, but due to the lack of emotional stakes, the antagonist being very predictable, the twist being very predictable, and the stakes not feeling that much high, for me it felt like a time pass movie. I didn't connect with it that much. And if you have seen the movie as well, make sure to comment down below what are your feelings about it. Make sure to comment down what are your opinion about my opinion about the movie. And if you haven't yet, give the video a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to Omlan Rexo.